All right, it is almost 1:30. I just finished having lunch. I had to switch out the battery. It takes a while for me to record things on my phone, like when somebody requests to have their video or their their order packaged on TikTok. It does take me a little while, and but I love doing it. I love showcasing it on my TikTok, and I did like kind of a controversial TikTok where I have heard and seen other small businesses charging money in order for your order to be packaged on TikTok, around $7 or $10. And I think that is absurd. I will say it right now. I think it's absolutely absurd where a small business will take that and charge you for it. Okay, it does take time. Yes, it takes time out of my day, but regardless, I have to package that order. I have to package that order regardless. It probably takes me twice as long. Instead of 5 minutes, it's 10 or 15 minutes to record one video for your order being packaged. However, when I post that on TikTok, I'm going to ask you guys, tell me what you think below. Once you put it on TikTok and people see that video, whether it's a custom order or, you know, something that is just amazing, the color combo that color customer chose or what have you, in turn, I might get more orders, right? And I have posted videos where somebody has come up with something creative and unique, and another customer would like something, you know, similar to that. That has happened more times than not when I do post a TikTok. So let me ask you right now, answer it down below in the comments. Do you think it benefits the small business owner, or do you think it benefits the customer? Pick one. I know a lot of people will say both because a customer loves to see their video on TikTok, and which I understand, but I'm meaning like beneficial, like, you know, who benefits more from that video being posted? I think it's me as a small business owner, and that's why I would never charge, because in turn, I could get more orders out of posting that TikTok. And to charge $10, like, it's just unbelievable. Now that I'm in like the small business world, sorry, let me sit you down. Now that I'm in the small business world, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous on what small businesses will charge for extra things. Like, I've also heard small businesses charging for laminating items. So when you order something like a savings challenge, I don't have one in front of me here, but let's say if you order a savings challenge, it will come to you just as cardstock, which is a little bit thicker than normal paper, right? That's what I use. That's what a lot of people use. I laminate all of my items so that you can reuse it again. I laminate every single item. There is not one piece of cardstock that goes out of this office to a customer that is not laminated, and people will charge extra for that. And it's just a money grab. And I think to myself, you know, I keep my prices very, very reasonable, because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do, and my goal for you, is to become debt-free. Become debt-free, have that financial freedom that Jimmy and I have experienced. Cash stuffing works, and that's what I want for you. I want nothing more. I don't want to be this huge company. That has never been my intention. Janet Greta Budgets will only be around for another 3 years, and that is it. Like, I'm done. I haven't started this business in order to make a huge profit, to make it a huge warehouse, to make it international. Like, that is never my intention, and that's what makes me placed aside from other small businesses, because other small businesses want to be big. That's their future. That's their income. That's food on the table, etc. And that is not the case for me. It happened that my video went viral, you know, once I created the 100 envelope savings challenge binder, and all of this just kind of landed on my plate, like, for real. You know, I did a lot of hard work and everything in between, but my intention was never to make this a big company and to be around forever. And we were fine. We already retired before I started this little hobby on Etsy. Like, it literally was a hobby because I was so passionate about it. We already retired. We were already debt free. And I was like, you know what? I'm so passionate about this that I'm going to start with a few little laminated envelopes. And like, I literally ordered 5 binders, and it just kind of, it skyrocketed, which I'm so grateful. However, it's not going to be around forever. That is not fair to Jimmy to put it aside on our traveling and etc. And I had a comment on one of my last videos to not put off traveling. And another reason, which plays a huge part, there's actually multiple reasons. It's not just my business what is keeping us here and not traveling. There's a few different reasons, and I will tell you one important one. And that's our kids, because our youngest just turned 21, and you know, she is in university. She's still very attached to us as parents, which, you know, it makes us feel really good. She has moved 2 hours away. However, she relies on us so much emotionally. Number one, she doesn't rely on us financially, but she relies on us so much for emotional help and to be there for her, and we really don't want to leave her right now. You know, she's gone through a lot of things. I've mentioned this through COVID. She went through a lot of things with mental health, and she's still very fragile. She's still very fragile. Our oldest daughter, Jenna, she is living her best life in Banff. She's going to be 24 this May. She is definitely independent and on her own, and she still obviously needs her parents, but not like Zoe does. And that's definitely our number one reason for staying here and not traveling throughout Canada and the US and internationally, because you guys know we want to go to Germany, etc. And we just can't do that right now as a parent, knowing how Zoe is and just how fragile she is, and she still needs us. That is definitely our main reason why we're staying. And it just so happens that I obviously have my business, you know, and all of this money, I don't want to say all of this money, but the profit that I get from my small business is going to our savings, so we can, you know, do more traveling in the future, maybe take our kids along even as well too, and take them on a really nice trip. So there's a multitude of reasons why we are not traveling right now. Jimmy is very healthy. I am very healthy. You know, like I said, in 3 years is kind of where we will be able to make the decisions on selling our home, where we're going to live, where we're going to travel, and doing all of that. But right now, you know, our kids are everything. Like Jimmy and I come first in our relationship, and obviously Jimmy and I, we never fight. Like, I'm not even lying. We never ever fight. We fight maybe once a year. We really get along on everything. You guys have met Jimmy, and we just love each other. We're obsessed with each other, and we just don't fight. That is totally fine. But like I said, our kids and Zoe particularly, she needs us here. She really needs us here. And for us to get up and leave in 6 months, I could not live with myself and do that. I just could not do that to her. And I know a lot of people say, you know, you need to live your life. You retired and you worked hard and you did all that hard work. But my kids still mean everything to me. My kids will always mean, they'll always be, Jimmy's my number one, because we have to live together even though my kids have gone and made their own lives. So you always need to prioritize your partner. And I know that's even controversial, but I will say that. You need to put your spouse first, period, because you will live your lives together for the rest of your lives. Your kids will eventually move on and they'll get lives of their own, but there are still such a huge importance to us. Also, the second reason why we decided that we are staying for another 3 years and working my business, number one, Zoe. Number two is my dad. We're the only one my dad has. Plain and simple. My mom and dad have split up probably about 10 years ago now. I do have 3 siblings. However, my 2 siblings don't really talk to my dad. They actually are with my mom. My mom lives with my one brother. And the family, when my mom and dad split, like a lot of families during divorce, it kind of divided the family. So my one brother and sister are with my mom. They talk to her. They take care of her, etc. And then my dad, you know, I've been always around my mom and dad. They moved here when my girls were born, and I've always been pretty close both with my mom and dad. But then of course after the divorce, things happen, and my dad is still here. My mom has now moved, but my dad still lives close to me, and we are all that my dad has. My oldest brother lives about 5 hours away, and he's always lived far apart from my parents. They do have a relationship, however, it's not as close as like me and my dad. And I have told Jimmy you know, and Jimmy even knew this from the beginning. Like, I'm the youngest. My oldest brother, who I'm talking about, who lives 5 hours, my oldest brother who lives 5 hours away is 60. And I'm the youngest, and I always felt like I was going to be taking care of my parents no matter what. If they were going into a home, if they were in the hospital, if they were this, that I was always going to be around to help them. And especially now that my dad has fallen and he has nobody who would take care of my dad right now. You know, he only lives on a pension. He has no pension through work. He just lives on a government pension, which is not very much, you know, and so he doesn't have the funds to hire people to help him, like caregivers. He does not have that kind of funds to do that. And there is no other family or relatives that live close or within a 5-hour radius. That is it. It's only me. And so it's very important for me to be there for my dad. And especially now with his fall, like I said, who would have took care of him? Who would have got him groceries? Who would have done his laundry? You know, all of these things, his medication, all of that is money. Like, I know you guys will probably say, well, there's people that can take care of that. There's caregivers that will do that, but it all costs money. It does anyways here where we live. And you would have to pay a fee for that, for caregiving. And my dad just does not have any extra money left in the month. And so that is another reason why we will be staying. So that's to answer your question, because I know a lot of people say that, and I appreciate that. I understand where you're coming from, because we don't know what will happen in the next 3 years. Jimmy could have a heart attack. I could have a heart, like, you never know. And I understand where you're coming from. But for us, these are just the priorities right now that are important to us, rather than being selfish and traveling right now. So that's just our decision. So I hope you understand that. I just wanted to kind of get that out in the air. All right, let's get back to working. I just printed off a whole bunch of stuff that I need cut and laminating, because I'm gonna drop that off actually to one of my workers. I mainly just have one of my workers helping me right now. I do have 3 that normally help me, but right now it's a little bit slower. So I use them as I need basis. So they all have jobs, they all do other jobs and everything like that. But if I get an influx of orders, then I do need all 3 of them to help. But right now, currently, I just need the one. And she's awesome. She's so great. Michaela, I've talked about her before. She's efficient. She, like, everything I give her is a priority, which I appreciate so very much. So I printed that off to give her probably on Monday, because she does have some stuff for me to pick up on Monday, and I'll drop that off. But let's just go over, I think I have one order that I need to get done over this weekend for sure. And then the others, I just need to prep and figure out what they have ordered, and then just kind of prep them. And then I also need to do my cash stuffing for the 1st of March. I know we're already in a week into March. I have all my cash here. I literally went to the bank like March 2nd. So I do have all of my cash here. It's just taking the time to once again record all of my cash stuffings and my savings challenges and doing all that. And it takes time, but I do need to do that. Hopefully today I can get it done, and then I can share with you maybe in another video. I can share that video with you if you are interested in my own cash stuffing. On YouTube now, I do not share. If you go back on my other YouTube channel, Janet Greta Budgets, the other channel that I have on here that I'm not using anymore, I have shared some of my income on there, but I will not be sharing income going forward, because, you know, there's nasty family members out there that feel like they're entitled to every single dime you make. And I will not be sharing income anymore. However, I can share with you how I budget everything and the amounts and how I figure out a budget. If you're interested in that, please make sure that you like this video and let me know down below, because I'll share it if there's enough people that want me to share it on here. But I won't be sharing my income, because like I said, it was too much. And then I know it ruins it for everyone, but it's not worth Jimmy and I's hassle. And so we don't share our income on here anymore. And so anyways, I would love to share. Honestly, I would love to share my personal income for my small business. but I don't want to share it in the terms of like me boasting or saying I made this much, or like, I don't want to come across that way. I want to share it for other small business owners, and maybe if you're interested in something like that, also let me know. But I wanted to share it because I want to show you how I break it down, is mainly because all of the money that I make in a month is not all my money. It is definitely not all my money. I wish it was, but there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I wanted to do a video on how I break it all down and how I pay myself and how I figure out how to pay myself. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. But let's get into doing some work here, going over our orders, and getting prepared for some orders that need to be mailed out next week.